All right, I think we'll make a start for today. So a very good morning to everyone. My name's Jeremiah from Inspection Express. I've got Mel here from McGrath Corporate as well. So Mel will jump on in a moment. I know she's here, so she's probably just waiting for me to sort of get started. There she is there.
Hello.
Yeah, thank you all for joining us today. And Mel, thanks for being here. Today, we're doing a bit of a webinar about Inspection Express, how I guess agencies within the McGrath network use Inspection Express, what's new, what it actually is for those of you that aren't using it. There's a bit of a mix or a spread of different agencies. Some of you are already using it, some aren't using it. Some are using the basic version and not the 360 version. So it's going to be a pretty broad or high level explanation today about what you can do through Inspection Express and the value you can add through your agency by using something like this. A bit of housekeeping, I guess, before we kick off. Today's session is recorded. So if you do miss anything, if you've missed the start and you've just tuned in now, we will send everyone a copy. So anyone who attended today, you'll get a recording of the webinar. It is also a group session, so I can't hear anyone's audio. If you do have any questions, there is a question bar on your dashboard. Feel free to type in your questions as they pop up and spring to mind. As they sort of come through throughout the session, we'll have 2 or 3 little breaks where we maybe pause. Mel will read out some questions and we can answer the questions from there. So whether they're just general questions about Inspection Express, whether they are questions about what I'm talking about or showing you, feel free to just put them in there. We will get through them all and work through them all throughout the course of the session today. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm firstly just going to get my screen share going. We can check that that's working. So I'm going to share my screen, and all you're going to see for the moment is my details up there while I'm just talking at the start. Just to confirm, Mel, can you see that so everyone else can see that?
Yep, I can see it.
Beautiful, awesome. So what you've got up there, guys, that's my contact details. Now, if there are any questions you want to follow up on, maybe you're not using Inspection Express and you want to book an in-depth demo of it, something like that, jot my details down. We will reach out to everyone who attended today, but do feel free to reach out to me first if you want something. Call me, email me. My details are up there. I'll leave them on the screen while I'm doing a bit of an intro until I get into a bit of a demo on everything today. Now, I guess to start off with, what Inspection Express is, for those of you that might not be using it. In summary, it's an inspection platform. It's used very heavily within the McGrath network. There's a very large number of offices within the McGrath family that are using Inspection Express, and it's the most widely or commonly used inspection platform for the property management industry around Australia and New Zealand as well. Now, how it works, it's basically an app. It integrates in with whatever your current trust accounting or CRM system is. Whether you're using something like Property Me, Property Tree, Console Cloud, Managed App, whatever you might be using, Inspection Express is the main integration partner with all of those systems. All of your properties, all of your tenancy info, they come over from from that system into Inspection Express. You then use Inspection Express to do a number of things, which we can delve into today regarding your inspections: entries, exits, routines, paperless condition reports, paperless key forms. You do all of that through Inspection Express. Upon completion, anything you've done through Inspection Express will auto-save back into the relevant trust accounting software. So it brings everything over, drops everything back, seamlessly integrated. Now, the reason you might use something like Inspection Express, I know some of these platforms like Property Me and that sort of thing have a very basic inspection app built in. Inspection Express allows you to probably just go to the next level with the way you do your inspections. We have a different method. You don't do a standard inspection like you do now if you're not using it, where you go to the property with a phone or an iPad. You don't have to take 100 photos in every room. You don't have to write out your inspection comments and generate a PDF report with little pictures on it. What you're instead going to do, you're going to go to the property to do your inspection. You're going to bring with you this little tool here. So for context, this is a 360 camera. Context-wise, it's really small. It's about half the size of a phone, and I've got it sitting on top of a tripod for today. So all you do, you bring that with you to any inspection you want to use it for. You put that camera down in a relatively central location within each room of the property. The camera is controlled by your Inspection Express app on your phone or your iPad. So you press capture on your app, which I'll show you in a moment. The camera takes a full 360 image of the room you're in 3 seconds, getting everything in one big photo. The floor, the walls, the ceiling, it's all captured within that 3-second time frame. You can then come back in the room. You can take up close photos of things you want to show in more detail. So maybe you're in the kitchen you want to show inside the oven. You open up the oven, take a photo using your phone or your iPad on your Inspection Express app of that item, and it drops in over the top of that relevant area on your 360 image. So you then tap on the oven, it expands further. It shows more detail for the person who you're sending the inspection report to. You move through room by room doing your inspection photos like this, and that's the first part of your time saving, significantly less photos through every inspection report. The second part of the time saving then comes into play with your AI generated comments. So you no longer have to type out inspection comments about every item that you see. So all you're doing, you're hitting generate AI comments within your Inspection Express app. AI reads the 360 photos in the room you've taken, it reads the up close photos you've added in over the top. It writes about what it sees against every item in your layout template. Whether it's skirting boards, windows, door frames, walls, whatever is in your template will get a comment made about it as long as it's visible in the photos. So it writes like a property manager. It describes the color, the condition, the quality of the item, damage or defect that's visible as well. It does your ticks and your crosses for whether things are clean and undamaged. And it writes out a whole report for a 4-bed, 2-bath property in around 1 to 2 minutes, give or take. It does it with 90 to 95% accuracy. So what you do, you let it run its course, then you might want to jump in, override it, maybe make a couple of changes here and there, depending on the level of detail you like, and your inspection report is then done. So at that point, your report saves back in to your trust accounting software. You send it off through Inspection Express. Now, what it leaves you with at the end, let's say firstly, if you use it for a routine inspection, the benefit of it is you're giving your landlord a virtual walkthrough or a virtual tour of their property rather than just the plain old PDF report. So it's a bit of an increase in the level of service you're giving to landlords. Great for interstate, international, out of area landlords that don't often get to see their property. You're giving them that first-hand walkthrough of their property. Entries and exits, the benefit here is the time saving. Now, we can obviously see all the data on our clients that use this. There's a couple of thousand agencies across Australia using this part of our software. We can see inspection times before versus after bringing on this feature for the same property and the same inspection. We can match it all together. What we generally see across the board for an entry or an exit inspection, the original inspection time is cut down to 30% of that time. So if now you're not using the 360 and an ingoing report takes you 2 hours, using this method will take you about 40 minutes or thereabouts. If it now takes you 1 hour, it'll take you 20 minutes using this method or thereabouts. So you can pencil that in for your time saving. That's what you're going to get back in return by using a system like this. Then you've got your exit inspections. You compare the entry and the exit inspection reports together. You've got an image on the screen of the entry versus the exit photo. As you swipe around the screen, the photos move like that at the same time, which again, I'll show you shortly. You can pinpoint the differences from the entry photo to the exit photo. And AI generates the differences and writes them out in the written report format as well. So that's one of the new features to talk about today that is about to launch for everyone. AI will pinpoint those differences with your exit inspections now. So that just means you've got a really powerful tool at the end of the tenancy to reduce disputes and help with dispute resolution. Lastly, you can use the tours for marketing. Extract a marketing version from any inspection you've done. You've got a 3D version or a 3D walkthrough of the property. Upload that into your listings on REA or Domain or your website. It sits in the image carousel of the listing, and you can use it to advertise properties for rent or for sale from a 3D tour marketing point of view. So that's a little bit about what we're going to sort of touch on and have a high level look at today, the 360 and the AI stuff, which is a bit of a point of difference as to what we offer from what anyone else offers. You can of course do all of the standard things through Inspection Express you may have seen, paperless condition reports, paperless key forms, all that stuff that's been around for 10 years. But what we're going to focus on today is the 360 and the AI. Now, I am going to get into a bit of a walkthrough of the app for anyone that sort of hasn't seen it, and this is going to be valuable for you. While I'm sort of doing that, we'll just maybe pause for a minute and just see if there's any questions that come through. So does anyone have any questions on anything I've described there regarding the process? If there are questions, do feel free to type them in at any stage. Mel will jump in and read them out, and we'll be able to provide an answer together for you, to assist with your questions. So doesn't look like we have any questions coming through. So I've either done a great job of describing that or everyone's gone to sleep. So hopefully, you feel, you can type in questions as you need. So do feel free to put them through. But I guess for now, nothing's come in. So I will push through and give you a bit of a walkthrough of the 360 and the AI and show you how that works. Now, what you can see on my screen here, this is a live view of the Inspection Express app. So you can use this on a phone or an iPad, whatever you want to use it on, the choice is yours. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail today about the general interface of the app. If you aren't using it and you do want some more information and a bit of a product demo, do feel free to reach out to us and someone will be able to lock in a time with you and give you a proper walkthrough of the app. What I'm going to do today, I'm going to more so focus on showing you a 360 inspection. So I've got an inspection here that is booked in. I'm going to open this one up, and I don't think you'll be able to see my mouse moving over anything on the screen through this platform. So I'll try and describe what I'm tapping before I tap it so you can see. So I've opened up here an inspection that's in progress. This is one I've started using the 360 method. Now, what you see on the far right of the screen, there's a little 360 globe icon with a number 1 on it. That's letting me know that I've taken one 360 image in that room there, which is the entrance hall. So what I've done throughout this inspection, instead of going into that room and taking 100 odd photos on my phone or my iPad, I've put the 360 camera, which I'll pull into view again for those that missed it at the start. There's the camera. I've put that down in a relatively central location within the entrance hall. I've then walked out of the room, so I'm not in the photo. I've brought the iPad with me and I've pressed capture. What I'm left with, if I open it up, is a full 360 image of the room. So as I now swipe around with my finger on the screen, you can see here, there's a 360 view of the entrance hall. It's captured the ceiling, the floor, the walls, everything in 360 degrees has been captured within that room in 3 seconds. Now, if I pinch with my fingers and zoom in a little bit, you can see there, you can zoom in and pick up as much detail as you need within the photo. And if I swipe back around this way, you will also see that I've dropped in some up close photos. So those blue stamps there that you see on the walls and the front door locks, if I tap on one of these, you can see that I've honed in, dropped an up close photo over the top on an area I want to highlight further. And I'll show you how to do that in a moment when I go through to the next room. If I then press the lounge tab through the doorway, it walks me through to the next room. I've repeated the process in the lounge room. So you can see in this room now that I've blurred out parts of the image, the TV screen, the picture frame on the wall, the bookshelf. I've pinched with my fingers to blur that out. So from a routine inspection point of view, you can pinch with your fingers and cover out anything you want to cover from a tenant privacy point of view. You can do it on site when you are there with the tenant, or you can come back to the office and do it at a later day and time if you prefer when you're editing your report as well. Then down the bottom, you see there all those circles or bubbles. They are all the rooms from the layout of this particular property. If I tap on each of these, you can see there I've taken a 360 photo within each room. And I've started to now just work my way through the layout, following down the bottom, room by room, taking a 360 photo, tagging in any up close photos like I've done there on the oven and the taps of things I just want to show more detail on. Now you'll notice down the bottom on the far right, bedroom 3, that icon has not been photographed yet. There's no image over it. I've left that room blank. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tap on bedroom 3 now, and I'm going to take a live photo of this room that I'm in. Although I'm not actually in bedroom 3 of this property, we will pretend for today that I am. You're about to get a live view now of me feeding from the 360 camera onto the iPad screen. So at the start of the inspection, you'd hook up to the iPad or the camera like I've just done. That's a live view now of me feeding from there. As I swipe around, you've got a live 360 view coming through from the camera onto the iPad of me in the study booth here where I'm doing the meeting from. Now it's a compressed image at this point. It looks a bit dull and blurry. When I hit capture, it turns it into high def and it stitches it together within that 3-second time frame. In an ideal world, I'd walk out of the room so I'm not in the photo. Today I'm going to stay put where I am. I'm going to hit capture down the bottom. You'll hear the camera click, and that means the photo's been taken. So at this point, come back in the room, grab the camera, move into the next room, really start to whiz through your inspection process at this point. As I now swipe around with my finger on the screen, you can see there it's left me with a 360 view of everything from wherever the camera has been placed. So you've got a 360 view from the room that I'm in. And the top left corner, it's auto-detected my face and the face of a colleague who is sitting out in the office out there. I'm going to press blur all, and you can see there it's blurred out the faces that it's detected. So if you're at an inspection, maybe a tenant's following you around, you can blur them out of the image really easily. Now, in terms of adding your up close photos, all you do, you line up the plus symbol wherever it is you want to tag the further detail. I've picked a point on the wall there across from me. Down the bottom, I hit condition. I then select what it is that I'm wanting to show. So in this case, it's a wall. These are already set up within your layout template for you. So we select walls. It then opens up the camera on your phone or your iPad. That becomes the dominant camera. So you're now getting a live view of my iPad camera that I'm pointing at the wall. I'm going to snap a couple of photos really quickly. So I've fired off there, 4 or 5 photos. If I tap on that, it's dropped them in over the relevant point on the image. Press the pencil in the top right corner, draw with your finger on the screen, and you can highlight the image as well. So you can mark it up, draw on it, and highlight things you want to show in more detail. Now, another thing you can do, you can actually take videos instead of or in conjunction with photos. So if you have something like a dripping tap, a flicking light switch, you may want to film it moving in real time, do it as a video. So that's another way you can add, information or content into the inspection that you're generating for the relevant party. So there's the first thing to show today. The idea behind the inspection photography, that's the first bit of your time saving. Significantly less photos through every inspection report. Now with the AI generated comments, for those of you that haven't seen it, I'm going to play you a little recorded video which explains how this works. So I've saved the video in here. You'll see here that I've taken a 360 photo in this room, which is the kitchen. This is what AI is going to base its comments on in this example. So back in the app, I hit generate AI comments on the top left. All the items in my layout template get a comment made about them. And this is in real time. It types it out in front of your eyes, describing what it sees area by area. If I pause this so you can read some of those comments there for a moment, you'll see that it's giving you a really detailed description of the items in question, the color, the condition, the quality of them, damage or defect that's visible. It talks about it like a property manager would. And if I hit play again, it runs through and it's done it for every item in that room. You can see there that room took about 10 seconds or thereabouts to do. If I pause it again, you'll see there that dishwasher is blank. That's because there was no dishwasher in the photo. It only does it on items that are relevant and visible in the photo. If they're not visible, it will exclude them and leave them off the report. So it's smart enough to differentiate that. It also does your ticks and crosses for whether things are clean and undamaged. You still need to do your crosses and your ticks for whether things are working. Of course, AI can't test that. So a 4-bed, 2-bath property is generally done in 1 to 2 minutes, 90 to 95% accurate. At the point of when it's done, that's when you want to spend 5 minutes reviewing it. Read over it, maybe jump in, make a couple of changes here and there, but it's going to do the bulk of the work for you in a matter of minutes, saving you half an hour or an hour of typing out detailed inspection comments area by area. Now, at this point, your photos are done, your comments are done. There's a couple of other little highlights, I guess, to show you here as well. Next to the camera icon on the far right there, you've got your hammer and your screwdriver. That's your maintenance button. If you tap on this, you can add maintenance items into your inspection report. You can add a title, a description, photos, and comments. Now, if you are using a maintenance provider such as Tapi, it sends these into Tapi as a job request. Get back to the office, open up Tapi, it's sitting in there waiting for you as part of our integration with them. If you are using the maintenance part of Property Me, it does the same thing. It sends it into there as well. If you're not using anything for your maintenance, it'll log it in the inspection report under the maintenance heading. So you've got the ability there to log your maintenance really easily. You've also got your broomstick. This is your tenant action reporting button. If you detect some things you think the tenant needs to tend to, indicate whether they are a minor issue or a major issue. Add your comments, add your photos. It sends these items and these items only to the tenant, excluding them from the rest of the report, which goes to the owner. So you've got the ability there to differentiate or break up who you are sending information to based on what you've found at the inspection. Last couple of things to show you on here before I show you a finished product. You've got recommendations up the top where you can add recommendations to the property owner who will receive them in the report. You've got your summary video. This is an underutilized tool by a lot of property managers. They don't even know it's there. You can see there I've taken a little selfie video. You can introduce yourself to the person who you're sending the report to. When you send off the report, that is on the front page of the report that goes to the person you've sent it to. They can play the video, put a face to the name, and it adds a personal touch to the report. Now, at this point, you've done all of these things. You're ready to wrap up your inspection report. So up the top, you press Finalize Report. Now, when you've finalized your report, it sits in the finalized status on the home screen. You've got a couple of options from here. Reopen it later on, go back to the office, open it up, edit it on the phone, the iPad, the computer, make changes to it, send it off at a later day and time. The other way you can do it, sit in your car when you finish the inspection, email a link to this report. It'll auto-populate your landlord's email address there, which is feeding over, in the case of a routine like this, from your trust accounting system. Your default email content will be there. You can edit the wording of that, and the report is in there as well. You then just hit send in the top right corner. The report is dropping back into your trust accounting software. It closes off the inspection task as completed and books in the next inspection for you in advance, all automatically, depending on what trust accounting system you are actually using. And then it also goes off to the owner. Now, in the case of a routine inspection, I'm going to show you firstly what it looks like from the perspective of the owner who would be receiving it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up this sample email that I've sent myself here. What you'll see here, this is the email that the owner would normally get from you with an inspection. Now, if you've done the 361, they tap on it, they open it up, and this is what they see. This will be branded up really nicely with all of the McGrath details. So it looks great from all of those in the network who are already using it, your logo, colors, and branding all over it. The PDF report, if I tap on that, is always auto-generated and included within your inspection reports. Logo, color, details, facade shot of the property on the front. Maintenance items, inspection comments, recommendations, maintenance photos, then your 360 photos and your up-close images as well, all auto-compiled into the PDF. The beauty of it is though, back on the home page, the owner can then see the welcome video you've given them. In this case, with the routine inspection, they can play that video and they then press start. They then get this tour of their property. So from a routine inspection point of view, I'm now swiping around with my finger on the screen to control this. This is the level of service you're giving to the property owner, really giving them a first-hand experience as to the condition of their property and showing them the condition that it's in. So this is that level of service you're going to be giving them, puts you one up on your opposition in the area who aren't using it from a routine point of view. The benefits with your entries and your exits, you can probably see from this really quick demo I've given you here today, how the time saving becomes really significant. That's the main benefit you're going to get there. And then from a marketing point of view, extract the marketing version, which is a click of a button. It'll drop off the up-close photos. It'll leave you with just the 360 view and the walkthrough room by room. You then upload that into your listings on REA or Domain or your website, and it sits in the image carousel of your listing. Now, one final sample to show you all here before we maybe pause for some questions. This is what it will now do for you with your exit inspection when you do that through Inspection Express. You compare your entry and your exit inspection reports together, and it gives you a direct 360 comparison where you can see the example here. It matches the entry photo for each room on the left to the exit photo for the corresponding room on the right. As I swipe around with my finger on the screen, it moves the rooms at the same speed, allowing you to visually see the differences in the condition of the property from when the tenant moved in to when the tenant moved out. So there's no way for anyone to dispute anything when you have something like this. It's literally a before and an after. It's date and time stamped. A tenant, a landlord, no one can argue anything. AI will now pinpoint the differences for you as well. So AI will write out, there's a hole in the wall at the exit that wasn't there at the entry. That's about to launch. That is the new feature which will be coming very shortly. It's in testing at the moment. There are some agencies using it. I believe it will be rolled out to everyone next week or thereabouts. So AI is going to start pinpointing that for you, and you've also got your visual comparison before versus after. Really powerful tool to assist with dispute resolution. So that's a bit of a high level explanation or run through for you about the 360 and the AI and sort of what's coming and what's new. I'm going to pause now and see if any questions come through. So Mel, not sure if you can see if there's any questions there that maybe you want to read out and go through. I'm just bringing up on my tab here. I think there's a couple, but can you see them as well?
I can't see any questions at my end.
Okay, cool. You mustn't be able to see them for some reason. I can see them, so I'll read them out and I guess I'll answer them then in that case as well. So a question from Lachlan. Is there any way to customize or train the AI to remove certain sentences it regularly generates? So really good question. The AI, the way that it's sort of been set up, it's got to be somewhat generic for all of the agencies that use it. We can't tailor it to say, be really specific for agency A and be really vague for agency B. There's a couple of thousand agencies across Australia using it. So it's somewhat generic. We do find at the moment, this started being built 6 years ago. It's been in production for over 3 years now. It's trained to talk like a property manager in general. It's not too descriptive. It's not too vague. It's pretty standard. So what you do need to do is let it run its course. You can't, force it to not say something and to say something. You've just got to let it do its thing. Then you can jump in and override it and review it as you need. So unfortunately, there's no way to tailor it specifically for your agency. Now, another question there from, Kimberly, could you show the agent's comments Are these only exclusive to our agency? So Kimberly, with the agent comments, in terms of if you're talking about the, I guess, the AI comments, as I sort of just explained, they're generic. So what it describes is what it sees in the photo. So it's going to talk about whatever it sees in the photo. It's not just exclusive to your agency. It talks the same way it does for every agency who uses this system. But you can, of course, override it, as we sort of discussed before, if you do need to tailor it further. A note there from David, the iPad looks different to the phone screen. So yeah, good point, David. I always use the iPad for my product demos just because the screen is a little bit bigger and easier to see when I'm sharing it across Zoom or across GoToWebinar. More commonly, property managers and most agents who are using this use it on their phone. I only show it on the iPad for the sake of it being a little bit bigger, but you are right, it is slightly different, but the functionality is the same. With the phone screen, you've just got to do an extra click here and there to get to the relevant menu, whereas because the iPad screen's bigger, you can see everything on the one page. You don't need to toggle between different screens, if that makes sense. Oh, okay, I see your point there, Kimberly. So you mean, is there a section that your agency can enter comments that only we can see? No, so when you're adding comments in terms of the inspection report comments are what is displayed on the finished report, whether it's the 361 or the PDF one. You do have an area where you can add your own notes for your reference for your agency, so you can just come back and view them when you're doing an inspection, but it's not going to include them on the inspection report as such. What I can do, I can get our support team to reach out to you upon completion of the webinar today. They can guide you as to how to do that. A note there from Nicole, we are having some issues with our 360 camera. One of them shows up having a blue screen and stays that way in the report. Is there a way to restart or troubleshoot the cameras? Yeah, there definitely is, Nicole. It sounds like your camera needs a software update. So, as with anything, pieces of text sometimes need to be updated in order to resolve an issue. So what I would suggest you do, I'm going to read it out, but I'll also shoot it through to you in an email as well. If you've got a pen there, jot down this number, 1300 901 688. Give our support team a call. They will be able to resolve that for you pretty much instantly. That will simply be an update to the software on your camera. So not an Inspection Express thing, it's a camera software update. They will explain to you how to do that. Now, that's all the questions that have come through so far. In terms of, I guess, the content for today, a couple of other things to sort of note and talk through, I guess, if I just stop my screen share as well, so you don't have to look at that anymore. Turn that off. While we're just waiting for any more questions to sort of come through, the next sort of thing that's coming as well, you know how I mentioned before, you've got your AI comments pinpointing the differences in the exit inspections. There's a really fancy update coming to the Inspection Express app next week, maybe the week after, which is going to again increase the image quality of the 360 images. So it's going to sharpen them up even further. You're going to be able to zoom in even further and see more detail. They're pretty good as they are now. Obviously, it's high definition, but they're going to improve. It's always evolving, always improving. That's the next update that's coming. So you'll really get even sharper images as of next week. So that's an exciting development, which will be available for everyone who's using this already. I guess if we don't have any more questions sort of come through in the next minute or two, I think that might be about it for the sort of walkthrough and the content for today. As I said, if you're not using Inspection Express at all and you do want a bit of a one-on-one demo and you want to see it in more depth, do reach out to us with the details I provided at the start or reply to the email that you'll receive later on today. I'll be more than happy to book that in and run you through it. If you're using Inspection Express, but you're not using, for example, the 360 part of it, again, just reach out. More than happy to show it to you and explain what's involved with switching that on. Question from Leonie, which has just popped through. Is there a particular brand of camera that works best with Inspection Express? It does need to be a specific model of camera. So it needs to be an Insta360 and it needs to be either an X2, an X3, an X4 or an X5. So it does need to be a particular model. You can buy it from anywhere, a tech store, wherever you want. You can also get it through us. We do quite often have really good deals on the cameras. I've got some great deals on them at the moment leading into the end of financial year. So it is a good time if you are thinking about it and looking at it, where we can do a really good deal on the cameras for you. So cameras, we generally pass them on at wholesale cost, which is cheaper than what you can get it for at a tech store. I quite often have 50% off cameras, sometimes free cameras. We just mix and match depending on, you know, what our director decides to offer. at the time. So if you are interested in bringing it on, let me know, and I can yeah, certainly let you know. And I can just see your follow-up point there, Leonie. Can you send pricing to everyone? I will send you through some pricing to add this feature. So I'll send through a little summary email when we finish up on this meeting to you with a proposal as to what's involved with adding this feature. And if anyone else does want the same, just reply to the email that comes out and we'll provide a proposal for you all. I think that might be it for questions coming through. No, quick one that's come through from Lachlan. We currently use the X3 camera. Is there a difference with the X3 and the X4? Really good question, Lachlan. So with the cameras, the easiest way for me to describe it, it's like when there's a new iPhone that comes out every year. Of course, the newer one is slightly better, you know, slightly cooler than the one before. It doesn't really make a huge difference. The only difference between the X4 and the X3 is a very, very minimal amount of image improvement. So the X4 images are very, very slightly crisper and sharper than the X3, but not enough to even really notice. The only other main difference is that the photos with the X4, it's just a little bit quicker. It might take half a second quicker to take the photo than it does with the X3. Other than that, there's no real difference. It's pretty much the same. Cool. Now, I think that might be it for questions. So thank you everyone for joining me today. Now, Mel, was there anything you wanted to add or finish off with? Thank you for attending, by the way, today as well.
No, thank you, Jeremiah. Will you let us know as well when the new release is available for us with the AI comparison with the exit? That sounds amazing.
Absolutely, yeah, everyone will be notified. So we'll do like a bit of a blast out with a notification for everyone once that is ready. I'd suggest that'll probably be next week. So yeah, we'll let everyone know.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Well, in that case, thank you everyone for attending today. As I said, do reach out if you would like some further info. I will get the recorded email to everyone over the next, or probably by the end of the day today. So you'll receive that in your inbox, and I'll wait to hear from anyone else who wants some further information. So thank you all for your attendance today, and have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon. Bye.
Thanks.